So here we go. This is going to be my first ever breakdown of a trade I took today and trying to explain it on camera. Like I say, I've never done that before, so we'll just see how it goes. This is what my screen looks like now, but I'm going to try to do a bit more of analysis as I go. I would have had lines on it that I've deleted and got rid of, and let's just break it down. So this is on GBP. I was looking at gold, GBP, and euro today. Euro, as you can still see, is there. Gold, I was waiting. I wanted it to take this liquidity before taking that low, but it took the low first and went up. So anyway, so let's go on the higher time frame first. Let's go on the hour. As you can see, overall, if you go on the 4 hour, you can see it's still bullish, but we're on a big pullback here. And today, when it started, I thought there's no reason for it to just stop here, unless it would have stopped here yesterday, unless it would have stopped here and made a more of a reaction, but it didn't. It made a little reaction and only went to there. So when I've got up, I thought, no, I still think this has got more to go. Now, it could be having a big, massive pullback. It'll probably come down to here and then continue up. But until then, I just thought, right, bearish is the direction I want. So we've gone with bearish. So then, as we've gone in, I do like higher time frame break and retest reaction. As you can probably tell, already one off of here. And that was my marker today, to have some sort of reaction. In fact, that wasn't there. I think that was there. I might have even had a box earlier. I can't remember. I change around a little bit as I go. Sometimes I have boxes, like zones, more than just a line, because it ain't always precise as a line on a break and retest. So that was kind of my aim, to where I could take a trade down to, and then when it gets to there, then we'll assess the situation. So let's go down to the 5 minute. And on the 5 minute, I should have probably done a bar replay on this, but hey ho, I've not now. So I jump on the charts normally around 7:30. So we're looking here. That's right. Yeah, it was coming down here. Now I did notice that it took this liquidity here along here. So it could have had a bigger reaction. And again, it didn't have a big reaction. It only come up here, break and retest area yet again, and started making its way down. And straight away by here now, I'm thinking, okay, I'm pretty certain it's going to go down. So we're looking a little bit deeper. I know it wants to, it's already made liquidity above here. Higher time, equal highs. So we know there's liquidity up here that will probably come back to and take, no doubt. So where are we? So we've come down here, we've come up, break and retest. It's not made much of a reaction. So this is where I'm thinking, okay, it's definitely going to go down. I've noticed it's had a big push away here. Now here, that is what I wanted to be taken. Let's zoom in a little bit here. That there is what I wanted to be taken, which is known as relevant break of structure. And it did. It took it and it left a lovely imbalance just there. And it for me, that's a nice place to enter, because if you're entering, the stop loss isn't too big. Granted, this stop loss is a little bit too big, but it's okay. It's okay. There's a lot worse out there. But I thought if it comes up here, it's not too bad. So I was quite happy with that when it come down. I noticed that it made more liquidity here. It made a new structural low. Let's do that there. It made more liquidity here. It swept, obviously, all of this. So I was waiting for a pullback. Now, obviously, you're waiting for a pullback, but you're thinking, how do we know it ain't just going to go straight through? We don't really. Let's be fair. We don't fully know. All we can do is use the edge that we've got, the analysis we've got, and we've got to trust our edge. So I'm waiting for this to pull back. I think I might have jumped on the 1 minute by then. Let's jump on the 1 minute, because I like using the 5 minute for overall, 5 minute, 15 minute, and then the 1 hour for higher time frame, then the 1 minute. That's right. So it come back here. It was making its way up and it took this liquidity here, some relative liquidity there. made a little bit of a reaction. Again, not a big reaction. So I'm thinking, right, okay, is it going to keep going? Now, when it's gone up with speed and momentum here, that's when my ears perked up. And I thought, right, so I had an alert. I would have had an alert on here. Just here. That's when my alert went off. Now, I'm not one for just jumping straight in. I know you can enter straight off that if you've got a buy limit or a sell limit, you can have it just so it ticks it straight away. I don't like doing that. I like to see a reaction. I see the reaction and I got involved. So I was happy. I was happy with that. Playing around for a while, and I didn't bring it to break even yet because I wanted that low there to be broken. Don't get me wrong. Before, I'd have always bought it to break even by then, but I've finally learnt my mistakes. I wanted that low there, that structure there to be broken before going break even. I nearly did here, but I thought, no, I want that structure to be broken. So I did take some partials when it got down here. I took about 40%, 35 or 40%, I can't remember. I've changed it about a few times. I think it's about 35 or 40%. It weren't 50. And yeah, and it was one of them boring old long trade. News was coming, so I was a bit skeptical with news at 3 o'clock here. It was a little bit risky, but where I took a bit of profit, I essentially didn't really have too much to lose. So we let the news play out because I did trust my edge. I had the top covered here on my MT5. I need to get the MT5 up and put that on here. I had the top covered there, so I knew it could take relative liquidity and then make it drop down, and that's exactly what it did. So yeah, that's just a really quick breakdown. I mean, I'll get used to doing these breakdowns and do them more and more, but that's how I see it. My overall bias on the hour was bearish. It took this liquidity here, didn't make too much of a reaction, and started reacting off of that break and retest, that resistant area, which was also Asia midline as well. So that was another confluence of thinking, right, it's definitely going to go low. That was my opinion. Well, nothing's definite, but I did think, okay, it's gave me confidence. Made the R boss with a nice entry setup for how I like my entries. Tapped into my POI and reacted absolutely perfectly. On the 1 minute, it made another, let's go here. It made a bearish candle straight away, and I thought, right, let's not miss this, because I was also keeping an eye on, which I do like to do, keeping an eye on EU as well, which was doing similar things. I think it was around here, but I didn't. The GU looked a lot better, but I think it was around here, was doing similar progress to how that was. Was it around here? Yeah, something like that. And it just gave me more confidence. So I thought, right, okay, that's not too bad. And yeah, that was it. That was it in a nutshell. So I don't want to drag this recording on too long. But if you like breakdowns like this, I'm probably going to do more and more, and hopefully I'll get a bit better at doing these recordings. So I'll probably sped through it a bit fast. We could always replay it like that next time. That might be better, and then I can get my whole thought process along doing that. Let's come off of that. So yeah, that was it, and that was a nice 2.75, but it wasn't 2.75 essentially because I did take partials. Yeah, it weren't too bad. It's early on in the year. I know you get a lot of people that say, no, I took it there and I held it all the way down to there. You just shouldn't be a liar. But yeah, cool. If you like it, follow me. We'll do more. Press the links, join the groups. I'll see you on the inside. Have a good day, people.